Well, thank you everyone for joining this next tech talk in our monthly series. I think everybody knows Hetal is the director of Mindera UK, and we'll be talking about different careers in tech. So over to you, Hetal.
Cool. Well, since we don't have anybody from outside, I think first two slides, we'll just zoom past, right? Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Give me a second. Oh, people are still joining. That's good. Right. Okay. Let's put in a presentation mode. Okay. Okay, got it. Yes, Damien. Maybe outside people will watch it. Okay. Please tell me whether you can see that or not.
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah. Okay. Different careers in tech. I didn't want to go too much into the bias, non-bias of it. So I wanted to sit with what are different careers in tech. So let's start. Okay. Quickly about me. All of you know me, but I thought I'd just quickly explain. So over 25 years experience in tech. Started my career as a database manager. Really, it wasn't a database manager. It was really the most boring and unfruitful job I had. However, looking back, it showed me some of my personality about not giving up, sticking with what I believed in, and keep on doing. But I really didn't do anything about database. I was just there to see if database was up to date, and I was so excited about able to do database, doing the tables, doing understanding the foreign key and primary key and etc. But it really wasn't. It was a good 1.5 year of absolutely doing nothing. Going around the different depots and talking to the managers of that depot, but that's about it. From there onwards, I moved into business analyst, business system analyst, then the IT project manager and a product owner, and the rest is a history. I've moved different jobs, etc. So I've always been in a tech. If I had it differently, I probably would have pursued my career as a programmer. My mum was the reason why I didn't go. She said to me, "No, Hetal, don't go there. Your eyesight will go bad." So there we go. I'm not a programmer. And currently, what is my key focus in the company? So I work with a lot of you on a day-to-day basis, and my role keeps on changing. What it doesn't change is looking after Mindera UK, its growth, and also talking to the client and talking about the commercial side of things. So that's what I do. A small introduction to Mindera. Again, guys, you've been working here, but anybody who's seeing outside, we started in 2014, Mindera as a brand. And we specialize in developing web and mobile apps as well as platforms. And within our company as well, we have a lot of different roles. So it's not just engineers, although they are a core part of and the majority of people are engineers, but we also have different roles within our company as well. We are a global company based in 6 different countries across the globe, and hopefully we'll continue growing in the next couple of years in Far East side of things. And during last 8 years, we've grown to 850 minders. And very recently, we also added code academies for people who are seeking career changes and consulting to our business. And that's going quite well. The consulting side of it is going well. Code Academy, we've got first taster course tomorrow, so it's going well. Okay, so let's talk about before and during pandemic. I mean, we're just coming out of pandemic. It will be unfair not to mention it. And therefore, I wanted to just put a scene. So prior to pandemic, the technology was on its high as it is. There were online shopping happening, holidays, we're browsing for the information, we're doing all kind of things. But during the pandemic, I guess the people like my mother-in-law, right, who probably would never done a shopping via Asda or Tesco, you got a different age group started using it. They started joining Zooms. We had Zoom parties for birthday. It no longer felt that the different generation could not use it. The children as young as 5 and 6 were doing homeschooling, so they're using differently. The parents who probably were not tech savvy started understanding how to use tech. So actually, it was already quite important, but it became very integral to our day-to-day life, how we work, how we actually it became our survival mode, right? Even if you think about NHS test and test and trace, even that, everybody had to use it, or at least requested to use it. So it became the way of life more than prior to the pandemic. And now the world has gone mad. Literally, I mean, the demand as a business we are getting for providing our services is huge. I speak to the businesses who are taking huge digital transformation, whether they are retail, whose business strategy was shop first and the website different. They're all going through a digital transformation where it's mobile first, web first. Everyone is thinking about, even like yesterday, I had a parents' evening, and instead of going to the school, we still continued via Zoom, 1.5 hours on the Zoom call or the video conferencing. So it has now the demand is even more, and and the technology is used in many different ways, and there is still a lot to come in that market, and we're seeing it when we speak to our clients. So what does that mean? Tech is everywhere, okay? Um, and it's fair to say that no matter which industry you go to, which career you take, tech is everywhere, right? You talk about retail, talk about finance, talk about administrative work in the office as well, talk about marketing. There is a whole huge part of a marketing which is around digital marketing, social media, etc. Logistic and supply management. Amount of clients we talk about how to make that really sleek and what can we do so it's time efficient, etc. It's huge, so it's everywhere. So no matter what job you do, you will be using a tech at some point in that career. And what it means for women. So now is the perfect time to explore a career in technology. We have There's a huge number of career paths, not just being a software engineer, which is a core to the tech, but everything around it that makes it successful. And I'll come back to that in a minute, but if I may just show, right, these are some of the roles that you can think of, and I'm sure there are a lot more that will go in there. I'm not going to go through this because if you Google online, I'm sure you will find a lot of tech roles and different careers that people can follow. So it's no point in me just repeating that information, but it's there. Okay, so why women can bring so much to tech, apart from simply because we are human, we are other 50% of a consumer of the technology. We use technology, right? And also I think women and men think very differently. So when those two different gender work together, there is a different viewpoint, different way of approaching things come together, which can lead into creativity and innovation, which then gives a competitive edge in the market. And I think, whether we use product all the time, the technology product, we know what works, what doesn't work. We think differently. We look at the logic differently. So I think women can bring so much different perspective, different way of looking at things into this industry that I think more and more women should go in and not be afraid to try it. I found this quite interesting. It's saying 61% of women say they won't consider tech because no one has ever spoken to them. Now, guys, I'm women. you're using a tag. What is there to speak about, right? So I found it quite interesting thinking, oh, so you didn't know about it, but you're using a product, you're using shopping and you're using this. So I don't know. I think there is a huge motivation thing. Is it at the school that people have to change it? I went to the open day about 3, 4 years back in my daughter's school. My daughter goes to all girls school, not by choice, it just happened. And their career day was all revolved around doctors and opticians and dentists. And I was a bit upset. I just felt like, okay, there's a business, there is a fashion, there is a technology. Why are they not pushing those kind of things? So I think at that level as well, I felt like actually they need to push a little bit more about the way they think about things, etc. So I'm not sure why they don't know about technology, because they use technology for sure on a day-to-day basis. For me, does it really matter though? Right? I started a career 25 years back. First time I saw a computer in my life was age of 16. Why does it matter? You know, and I think for me, the success in the tech industry or any industry comes down to some factor. Are you really good at what you're doing? Can you do the job well? Who are you? And can you understand people work? So if you do that, of course, you're going to find people who are not going to support. And of course, there are going to be people who might not support women or they're biased. But actually, if you really know what you're doing and if you really, really believe and do the job well, then I think people will respect it and open the doors. And I've seen it from my own example. It was a long struggle, but eventually, at one point as a business analyst, I was part of every main project that needed to be there. So once they saw what I could give, I was approached and I was respected and I was, given that opportunity to shine. But it didn't come easily. First 5 years of my career was really not going anywhere. I had no idea. Um, Coding geniuses are always have a place in tech industry. But if you're not a coder, then there is a lot of other skill set, a lot of other areas, like I shared in the previous slide. You've got a tech marketing, like Tabby does for us. There is a product owner. There's a delivery lead, like Anna does. So there are so many different roles that one can play that one doesn't have to be software engineer to be considered as part in a tech. And yeah, finally, soft skills are really important, whether you're male or female. Empathizing, communicating with passion, understanding where someone is coming from. And they are valuable because end of the day is the relationship that makes things go. And we know that from Mindera because Mindera has grown purely based on a relationship. So for me, it really doesn't matter whether it's a woman. I can't speak for everyone, but I think if there are some basic core things, then you can succeed in tech industry, but you can succeed in any industry you may want. Okay, so how women can stand together and provide support for each other. I think provide support when in a position to do so, whether it's as a mother, whether it's a colleague, whether it's someone in charge or a managerial position. Whatever way, have empathy, provide support, and work through that. Create harmonious and collaborative environment. Again, let's respect everybody's opinion. Let's work together with a goal in mind. I'll come to a scenario in a minute. Encourage career growth, progression, different career path when in position to do so again. And as a woman, we understand what a fellow woman might be suffering with or what we're dealing with. There's always an encouragement, always there's a different thing that a person can follow. and enable flexing working environment when in position to do so. And now is the right time. There is a boost on a remote working. There's a boost in flexi working. The pandemic has brought in a way family together. Our colleagues are seeing our children on the Zoom call, and there is no longer a taboo of children can't be seen at the workplace, etc. So whether it's a school, women are primary caretaker of the children. I've got 2 children. My school run always comes in as a priority for me. But the flexible working and the remote working allows everyone to go through it. And the reason why I'm saying this about providing support and create harmonies, I must say, in my career progression, the male side of have been the most instrumental. When I had a female colleagues or female boss, apart from one, they weren't very nice. Really. I mean, it was like, what are you doing? And I even recently, last 2 years, I have faced some women who have been, I wouldn't say bullied, but really you are scared to speak to them. So I think it's up to us as a woman to support as well, because it doesn't do any good. So I think so. My success has been really, although I've faced bias, but at the same time, I've had people who had supported me, and without them, that I wouldn't be here, and who continues to support me even today. And I hope that as a woman, I am supporting to all my women colleague and male colleague equally to push them if they want somewhere to go in a career, and that's all we can do. And as a mother, to support my child to do so as well. Yeah, so there we are. I wanted to talk about different careers and how do we go about it. Thank you. Does anybody have a question?
Thank you, Hetal. Actually, I had a thought around what you just said about women not being supportive. I recently read a book with the title, it's really hard to remember, but it's basically around, and I'll post it later. It's basically about why there are many incompetent men who are leaders in many organizations. And one of the things that the book says, it's written by a psychologist, it says that unfortunately the men, this behavior that is seen as a kind of leadership behavior is what let people progress in their careers at certain levels. And so what happens is that women who progress in their career may adapt that kind of behavior. So basically one of the theses is then women are not, instead of having women behaving like women and bring in all the good that they can bring in, we are telling them that they need to behave more like men, or more like these kinds of men who are usually narcissists and basically psychopaths. So this was interesting. So that's the risk, and maybe this is what's happened to you, that like people you have met to get to their position, they started behaving in that not very nice way. I was just thinking when you said that, the what I was reading in the book.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And and to be honest, those women have got to that position by fighting a lot of battle, but it's very sad they forget how it feels for anybody coming in. And I can't talk for everyone else, but I always had made a promise the day I become like that, I will need to step away, and I make sure that Paul keeps me in check on that one, because I will hate to see myself one of those women, right? Because I go back and I look at my journey, and it is what it is. So yeah. Anyone else?
Now I've got a question. Oh, yeah. What advice do you give to women who feel that they're struggling to build a career in tech?
I guess they need to just understand why they're struggling. What is it? Is it, they're struggling because of the industry? Are they struggling because they have not found a right career to go into tech, which career it is. It's about trial. I think that's one thing. So yeah, you may try something and you fail. Like me, I tried it as a database, and I really wanted to be a database person. That was my dream. I love data. I like to look at the data and that sort of thing. And it didn't work out. It put me off. But that didn't mean that I just left it. I then went into a different thing and tried it. And so it's more about what are you passionate about. It doesn't have to be tech, but if you want to be, understand, don't feel like it's a black hole and you can't go into it. And there were times where I was thinking, is this a right career for me? Shall I drop it? And I said, no, actually, I quite enjoy it. I just don't know how to go about it. So I think that you need to really find out what it is and see if you can find a mentor, someone to look up to, someone ally, like in the last talk when Divya and Kurti did, find an ally, find someone who will support you. And that makes a lot of difference.
Thanks, Hetal.
Can I ask a question? So on the back of what you've just said, how can we encourage women to come into a career in tech?
Many ways, talking about it, understanding how they feel. So I'll give you a recent example. My daughter, who is 12, still very young, doesn't know what career she wants to go to, right? And she's confused, etc. But she's very good at doing designs and poster, and she did a couple, and I was like, wow, did you do that? Really? And I said, Rani, you can be UX UI designer if you want to go into tech. And she's like, yes, mommy, I can do that. So it's giving them, look, you're cool to be like that. If you're interested, go and do a bit of course here. So it's, that's the children. For the young people, I've had someone that I know who is good at graphic design. I remember saying to that person, one day if you want to be UX UI designer, talk to me, right? Again, you've got to be careful because every person is at different stage in their life. They might not be ready to take that, the different direction, whatever their circumstances are. So you can share that, and then when they're ready, they can come back. So I think this person is really good at graphic design, likes doing it. Whenever that person is ready, we will encourage that person to go into UX, UI design side of things if that person wants to do it. So I think it's more about talking, understanding where they are. Sometimes it's just giving a little bit of nudge. It's like, oh, would you like to do this design? And it's saying that, look, they can do it. So I think it's just talking, understanding, inviting them to do things sometime, sharing what's done, and encouraging personally.
Brilliant, thank you. And thank you for sharing your story about women bosses or women you work with can sometimes be actually in the way of growth rather than supporting. I think most of us have felt that some way in our career, but I can truly say here, with the women and the men that I've worked with, and I've not been here very long, everybody's so supportive and actually nurture you and support you through your career growth. So thank you for sharing.
Thanks, Kurti. Imran, you have a hand up.
Hi. I guess I want to ask what advice you'd give to women who want to set up their own tech companies, and do you think there are specific barriers or struggles that they face, especially in tech?
Well,
I ask that because there seems to be a lack of women running tech companies. It seems to be very male heavy, and I feel like that if there were more companies run by women, they could also pull through and also mentor more women as well.
Yeah, I think there's two things there, isn't it? Starting a new business is a struggle anyway. Getting that new business and the ideas and the funding that needs to come. So I think, and then being a woman, again, it's on their confidence. So I know someone in Leicester, and she's a woman. She started her business, and they do eBait, so it's a fintech solution. I will say that make sure your network is strong. Get someone to support, because starting the business on its own is really hard. And then being a woman, if you're feeling that you can't start it, then there's a lot of help out there. Try and see if you can get a sponsorship on things. There is a whole lot of initiative about women startup, and there is a grants available. There are schemes, all sort of things. I think they need to just go with the plan and believe in it and just go for it.
One criticism I've heard is that when it comes to women wanting to start companies, is that a lot of the times they're not taken seriously by the people providing the finance, because they again tend to be all men as well. It's something I've heard anecdotally. I haven't heard it directly from anyone.
Yeah, I couldn't comment on that because obviously my experience on that side is limited. We've been lucky enough not to ever ask for the funds, and as I said, I've been lucky enough where I've had a very good relationship with people and the support. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from. There are people who might be struggling, and it depends where you are as well. UK is very, very open-minded. If you're in a different country, I don't know what it is, so I couldn't answer that, Imran, sorry. Yeah. Damien?
Off of me then. Yes, you mentioned graphic design as one of the non-software qualifications that could be used to get into tech. What are some of the other ones that you'd suggest or you could think of?
Copywriter is another one, Damien, that you can go into. Marketing is another one, that can go into. And I think project management side of it as well, having that time management skill, operational management of our. So if you think about Mindera UK, we got Gemma who does operational management. Gemma did not come from the tech, but now 2 years on, and I bet she understands what the Java developer, or at least understand and have that technical conversation about saying, no, that's what we need. So again, Kurti, I know you had done computer science, but your career was more into project management, and you're doing the teaching, Code Academy. So there are few like that, which you can learn. You don't need to have very in-depth, but you can learn and go from there. There is other ones like account owners, account management, and those kind of things as well. Yeah. Divya?
Yeah, sorry, I think we are already 1:30, but it's really quick. Yeah. I mean, I think it was really, really nice thoughts there, Hetal, you shared, and it was kind of like really good to know. It's like all women kind of come up with those struggles, and we all struggle in our career and then try to do something. But the thing that really stuck to me was, yes, as long as you keep believing and then try pushing, and you can show that you are good at something, then definitely you will get somewhere with your career. So that was really resounding with my thoughts. So just wanted to share that. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Thank you, Divya. Right. Is there any more comments in there? No. Thanks for sharing, Stefano. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for taking time out from your lunch break. Hope you had a lunch, or you're going to go and have a lunch. I shall speak to you later.
Yes, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.